Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dray, and today we're going to be showing you how to pick your legend in Apex Legends.
Alright, so let's go ahead and go over the major categories of legends in Apex. Before we start though, there are certain legends that kind of overlap in the categories that they're in. We'll kind of get into more specifics as we kind of go over those categories, but do keep in mind that the classifications that a given legend falls under aren't necessarily going to determine how that legend operates. But anyway, so go ahead and start off with these categories. We have assault legends or offensive legends or movement legends. All of those terms are kind of interchangeable. Assault legends are going to function as the fraggers, and they're going to achieve their fragging potential mostly through movement abilities. This is the most popular choice of legend for a reason, mostly because these kinds of legends can position themselves in ways other legends are not able to do normally, as well as being able to position their teammates in ways that their teammates would not be able to do normally. And on top of that, they're also going to be focused on taking off angles. They're going to be much more focused on individual playmaking and can isolate 1v1s with other players using those movement abilities.
So these movement legends, right? They are primarily based exactly like I said, they're movement legends, okay? So their abilities and their passive help them traverse the map and get around the map and outplay people a lot easier using movement. Apex Legends is a movement-based game. It's very fluid, it's very fast. So if you are the type of person that you like to, complement your movement and your play style and you're somewhat aggressive, then you definitely want to be picking up one of these legends. Personally, I love Horizon very much. She's one of my main gals. I love her so much. Her passive pretty much makes it so when you hit the ground, right, you can slide right out of it, so you don't have any fatigue when you hit the ground. You could fall from any height and you could slide right out of it. It's especially great on storm point when you hit those jump cannons. Her Q is what you just saw. It's that gravity lift that sends you up in the air, and then her ultimate is a big black hole that sucks everything within the area, and it's a great time. So you usually want to spam that with arc stars, nades, and you can use it on different characters and different legends. You can also use it on doors to break doors if you didn't know. Next, we're gonna have Octane, right? So Octane is a legend that's been around for a very long time, and a lot of OGs enjoy playing Octane. I know Nicewig is one of them. Octane is a great character to play, right? He's not really that viable in rank. There's other better pickups. For casual play, he is definitely a lot of fun, and he is more than viable. So pretty much Octane is a speed demon. His Q is a stim that makes you increase your speed by 30% and your sprint speed by 40%. It costs health to use, and it lasts for 6 seconds. So it's really, really good. You can stim around the map. It won't kill you. It'll put you to 1 HP, but it won't kill you, so you can stim as much as you like. His passive makes it so you recover health over time, so you really don't have to, waste syringes or spam syringes or anything like that. You can kind of recover your health over time. And also his ultimate is an actual jump pad. So you can jump pad and launch and send yourself into teams. You could get away from teams. You could tap strafe off in it. You could get high ground. You could do a lot of different things with the jump pad. He's a lot of fun to play.
All right, next we have defensive legends. Defensive legends are really going to function as the sort of tanks of Apex. They're going to be able to create and take space by forcing people out of a position, or they're going to take command or ownership of a given space with their defensive ability. So an example of forcing someone out of a position is going to be something like Gibraltar ultimate, getting a team out of cover or punishing them for staying there. And then taking ownership or command of a space is going to be done through something like caustic barrels or Watson fences, making the building or the area that you're holding down a lot more difficult to play in, or just unplayable because you can't just sit in caustic gas and tick to death. So yeah, those are what defensive legends are there to accomplish.
So Gibby is one of the best defensive legends in the game. If you like playing more of a support role, if you like playing more of a tank character, look no further. Gibby is your guy. So pretty much every tank character in this game, or every defensive character, they have fortified. So it reduces incoming damage by 15%, and you're also not slowed by bullets. So if you didn't know, in Apex Legends, you get slowed by every ammo type that hits you. It's not just heavy bullets, it's every gun that hits you. So the split second you get shot, you get slowed. So with fortified legends, you don't get slowed whatsoever. whatsoever, so you don't have to worry about that. But with Gibby, you have a gun shield, right? So whenever you ADS, you have this big gun shield that comes up and it blocks 100 and I think 50 damage, 150 damage, don't quote me, but it's very, very beneficial, especially when you're peeking or you're trying to get some damage off on someone who's long range. You can pretty much just peek for free because you have that gun shield, and it regenerates, I think, every 20 seconds, somewhere around there. His Q is a big dome. It's a bubble. It's a pretty much 360-degree radius protection for you and your team. You actually heal faster in it, and you also res faster in it as Gibby. His ultimate here is a defensive bombardment. It's pretty much like a missile strike, and you can use it for zoning, you can use it for damage, you can use it to force teams to use their bubble as well. He overall is a great legend to pick up if you like playing a tank, if you like playing, you know, these characters that could soak up a lot of damage and providing to your team rather than being the aggressive playmaker, then definitely pick up Gibby. Next, we're gonna have Caustic. Caustic personally is not one of my favorite legends in the game, but he is very, very well suited on World's Edge with a lot of buildings and a lot of like pretty much like secluded or enclosed area, because what Caustic does is that he's a gas man. He's a stinky magical mustard farting gas man. He likes to throw down traps and he likes to use his gas to damage his enemies. So he's a very good legend to kind of bunker down and sit in one specific location and just hold off the enemies and hold off the opposition. So his passive pretty much makes it that you can see enemies through your gas. His Q is a gas trap, and I think you could have 6 gas traps up at one time, and they're pretty much like little traps, like little mines. Like imagine like a bouncing Betty from Call of Duty, right? But instead of it going up and exploding, when you walk into it, it activates and you take damage over time through his gas. His ultimate, right, is like this little capsule that he throws, and it does gas damage over time, and it ramps up the longer you stay into it. He is a very good defensive legend for bunkering down. So if you're the type of player that likes to kind of hold things down and just stay in one location, then you definitely want to pick up Caustic.
Next, we have Recon Legends. Recon Legends are centered around giving you and your team valuable information that you otherwise would not have, or at the very least would have to work very hard for. This is going to be accomplished obviously through things like Bloodhound Scan or Seared's Heartbeat. Another characteristic of Recon Legends is that they have the ability to scan survey beacons, which is a very important aspect, at least to more competitive aspects of Apex Legends, like ranked. Survey beacons obviously reveal the location of the next ring. These kinds of legends are going to be focused more on setting up plays with the information that they feed their team, but not necessarily executing those plays. You're going to be able to give your team the information of the next ring or the position of enemy players or where players have been or whatnot, but the ability to capitalize on that information is really going to be best done by the defensive legends or the assault legends.
So Bloodhound is a scan legend, kind of like SoaR, right? So Bloodhound is a good legend. He's been around since day one. I'd say right now he isn't as good as SoaR. We'll talk about it more, you know, later in the video, but Bloodhound is a really good legend if you like playing scan legends. If you're coming from Warzone and you like, you know, the UAV feel and knowing where everybody is at all times in a fight, then make sure you definitely pick up Bloodhound. He's very simple to play, definitely one of the easiest characters to play and learn. So if you're just getting into Apex and you want a simple character to pick up and kind of just play the game, then definitely Bloodhound is your guy. SoaR is making a crazy statement right now, and SoaR is undoubtedly one of the best legends in the game right now overall. His abilities are just nuts. Let me talk to you guys about this character right here, right? So his ultimate is a big field that you can throw down that pretty much shows characters in that ultimate 100% of the time while your ult is up. And that is one of the most important things and one of the most broken things in Apex Legends, because the information that you get right while they are in your ultimate is second to none. But if they are crouching, if you didn't know this little tip, if they're crouching or you don't move within the ultimate, it actually doesn't show you on the ultimate. So if you're playing against the SoaR, always remember that. Try to crouch, try to kind of, you know, stay hidden, because it actually won't show you on the ultimate. His Q is actually like a little thing that he throws out, and it can cancel ult, it can cancel heals, it can cancel reses, it could do a lot of different things, and it actually scans the enemy as well. So usually what you want to do is you want to wait for a knock right on the enemy team. So you knock one of them, and if you took some damage, you're healing. But if they try to go for a res, you hear that res and you throw your Q out at them. His passive is also a heart seeker, so you can actually like take your gun out, stow your gun away, hold ADS, and it'll actually show you if there's any enemies located within your area. It's really good for hunting out rats. It's really good for finding players that are camping. It's really good. So SoaR is undoubtedly one of the best characters in the game. if you like to just play the meta characters in games, then definitely pick up SoaR. He's really good. He doesn't have any mobility, so make sure you stay on the lookout for that. Always try to be in the best position and, like, you know, take the best angle for your team and stuff like that. But he is one of the best characters in the game by far.
All right, and last and unfortunately least, we have supportive legends. Supportive legends are going to help your team by providing healing and by providing loot. They can do so by minimizing the risk that goes into reviving someone. So legends like Lifeline and Newcastle, which, by the way, Newcastle is another example of that kind of overlapping category thing. Although Newcastle is classified as a defensive legend, he functions more as a supportive legend, something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. But yeah, the supportive legends help minimize the risk of reviving someone and can also help the overall economy of you and your team. Abilities like Loba's Ultimate or Lifeline's Care Package accomplish this very well. These supportive legends are going to be a nice addition to a team. Supportive legends are a little bit of a weaker class in Apex. They do have their place, but they aren't necessarily going to be as impactful as a Recon Legend or a Movement Legend or a Defensive Legend, which is why I say, unfortunately, least. They're still good. They still have their place, but not as much of a place as other legends. All right, so now that we've taken the time to properly categorize each legend, or at least become familiar with the different categories in Apex, let's actually go into some framework that you can use to pick a legend. Apex is a very forgiving game when it comes to the team composition that you use, as well as the character that you play, simply because of the fact that the emphasis is going to be more towards gunplay and playing the battle royale aspect of the game correctly. Because Apex is so forgiving and because Apex is so loose in comparison to other games like Valorant, for example, or maybe Overwatch, we have a lot of narrowing down to do. And I'm going to do that with 3 questions. The first question is, what kind of player are you? Are you a fragger? Are you a strategist? Are you an anchor? Are you more of a supportive type? You know, being in tune with what kind of a player you are is going to give you a pretty good idea of what kind of a legend you want. If you are more like an IGL and you like leading your team, you like making plays, you like or at least creating plays, setting up plays, making calls, telling other people what to do, a really good position to be able to do that is going to be a Recon Legend, because you're in control of the flow of information and you are the first person that's receiving that. So let's say I'm on a team of 3, I'm an IGL, and I'm playing SoaR. What I'm going to be able to do is be the first person that gets the information from my heartbeat. And what that's going to allow me to do is be the first person to make decisions surrounding that information. I'm not having to rely on my teammate to feed me the information that they're getting from their heartbeat. I'm the one that has the immediate access to that, which is why I say that being a Recon Legend might not be the worst choice. It might actually be the better choice. But again, it's entirely possible to IGL from the perspective of a defensive legend or assault legend. Being in control of the information that you have access to from those Recon Legends is going to benefit someone like an IGL really well. But if you consider yourself to be a little bit more of a fragger, obviously, you know, Movement Legend, Assault Legend is going to be the best choice. There's a reason why people like Fade or Asu or Lyric play those Movement Legends all the time, and it's because of the fact that they're the best at the individual playmaking. And if you're really just wanting to run at people, get in their face, and send them back to the lobby, you know, Movement Legend is going to be good. That's kind of an intuitive choice. Another thing might help you kind of narrow down is if you like anchoring, if you're kind of an anchor-based player, if you're not like there to get in people's faces, but you still want to shoot your gun, supportive legends and defensive legends are going to be excellent, simply because of the fact that they're not going to be as liberal with their positioning. They're not going to be as reckless with their position, because with characters like supportive legends or defensive legends, you're not going to be able to bail yourself out of a bad position as well as you might be able to with, say, a Movement Legend. So if you like, in kind of a team context, laying back, playing in the, you know, in the back of the fight, kind of looking at it from a little bit more of a third-person perspective as it's happening, you know, a defensive legend or supportive legend may not be the worst choice, because sometimes, you know, whenever you're a fragger, you're kind of tunnel visioned on everything. You're in their face. You don't really know what's going on outside of what's right in front of you. Whereas if you're a player that likes to have a little bit slower pacing to fights, but still wants to get in those fights to begin with, defensive legends and supportive legends are going to be great choices. The next question is going to be, what game mode are you playing? So this is going to obviously be, you know, pubs, ranked, or arena. Are you playing duos? Are you playing trios? Are you playing ranked battle royale, ranked arena, obviously? What kind of game mode are you playing? If you're playing pubs, play a Movement Legend. Just take it from me. I have 90,000 kills on Wraith, and the reason why is because Wraith, as a movement legend or assault legend, an offensive legend, is going to allow me the opportunity to fulfill the purpose of a pub much better than other legends, and that is to get in people's faces and get as many kills and as much damage as possible. In pubs, you're going to go for high kill, high damage games. The best legend, category to complement that goal or that objective is going to be those movement legends. That isn't to say that you can't play the game in that way on other legend categories if that is what you want to do, but again, I'm here to kind of help optimize. So if you're playing pubs, whether it's duos or trios, even like, normal arenas, just play a movement legend. Make your life easier. Just play a movement legend. If you're playing ranked, I would highly suggest picking a character to fulfill the need of the team. And the team composition on average, I guess the best team composition on average that I would recommend for ranked would be a movement legend, a defensive legend, and a recon legend. There are obviously compositions that have 2 defensive legends like Val Costa Gibby, or compositions that have 2 assault legends like SoaR Valk Horizon. What I would suggest doing is that if you're playing ranked, don't necessarily fully commit to the idea of playing one character. Learn multiple characters, be moldable, be malleable, fulfill whatever need your team might have at that time. It's really good to have kind of a balance though. 1 recon legend, 1 defensive legend, 1 assault legend, just for rank, just to kind of fulfill the purpose. Like if you don't have a character to scan beacon and ranked, like pick a character to scan the beacon, if that makes sense. And if you're playing arena, supportive legends actually do have a really good place, especially lifeline. You buy a gold bag, you play lifeline, your teammate gets knocked by the 3 vertical frag nades that are being thrown. Free res. You get to walk over, press 1 button, and it removes all of the commitment from the res that you normally would have to sit there and physically stick the needle. You could just let them be rezzed and then hold as the team of 3 is pushing you and trying to capitalize off that knock. The game mode that you're playing can determine like what legend you are playing. Obviously if you really want to commit to one character, you can, but in my opinion, at least if you're struggling to kind of pick a main or struggling to pick someone in that moment, what kind of player you are and what game mode you're playing kind of have a bearing on that. And the last question that I had to answer is, how are you playing that game mode? So if you're solo queuing any sort of a game mode, I would put more of a priority on playing a movement legend because again, you're gonna have that individual playmaking potential. Obviously in solo queue, you can't really expect much from your teammates. So being able to take ownership of a lot of the plays that you want to make that your team might not be able to capitalize on with those movement legends might also be a good idea. Again though, if you're playing solo queue ranked, you might want to pick a character that fulfills a need, suits the team rather than being selfish and picking Wraith because you like the kunai and the way that it flips. Another thing to note is that if you are kind of duo queuing or 3 stacking, creating legend combinations that are that have a lot of synergy with each other. Like if you're duo queuing, for example, Horizon Fuse might be a good combo, just simply because of the fact that you can suck people into one spot and then blow them up, right? Create those synergies, create those opportunities with the legends that you're playing, and you should find some success. But again, the goal here with those 3 questions is to kind of provide a formula. It's not necessarily, I'm not here to say, this is what you should do, this is how you should play the game. I'm here to give you a formula that you can then take and use to suit your own needs and to come up with your own answers to those questions. But yeah,
and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys got some insight on who you would like to play in Apex Legends, or if you don't have a main, maybe you found one through watching this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys go ahead and leave a like and also subscribe to the SoaR channel. We're also going to have me and Hollow's pages in the description below. I love you guys very much. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye. Mwah.